Alright, what's going on? Oh yeah, it's recording. I've been having a few issues with go the Blues. Look, wait, I'll turn around, look, watch. There you go. Entertain yourself all day with that. Oh mate, what a cracker of a day. Many things to address. Like yesterday's race, my shit tips. No. When Tiger Moth got up, where did that 6 come from? No idea. Commiserations to, the syndicate or the people involved, and that poor horse that had to be euthanized after the race, Van Dyke. God love it. And I'm not religious. I am an animal lover. I'm not an animal liberationist. I'm not any of those things that require, a lot of commitment and dedication, a passion and desire that goes beyond what most people are willing to give or to commit to. And I don't disrespect those people. So, and I do treat people the way that I'd like to be treated. And, we all have moments. I don't deliberately go out of my way to spoil anyone's day, shame anybody, or force my views down anyone's throat. And if I do step over the line and I realise it after the moment or the event, or somebody messages me or calls me out, then I'll respond appropriately and, put my hand up if I'm wrong or if I have stepped over the line. So yeah, I appreciate it. People, not coming at me, and trying to use my platform or platforms or, to promote their agenda, political or otherwise, and in turn disrespecting what I'm about and what I represent and what my platforms are about. So good luck with your cause, whatever you're into, and I respect that. So I also appreciate it if you don't jump on my platforms and try and pull me apart or make me an example. I can go into that further, but I won't. So interesting. Wasn't what I was expecting yesterday, the race. And if you want to hear more about my thoughts on that, listen to the podcast. It's I haven't published it yet, but I will shortly. I've just finished recording it, and I talk about a little bit about the race, a little bit about how I feel about people, coming on my platform and using it to promote their views. And one particular ordinary individual yesterday trying to fat shame me. The YouTube footage that I recorded and for the race specifically, and I did mention about a couple of pie reviews that I did, and somebody wrote, well, what's your diet plan? Something like that, something along those lines. Everything that you see or everything that you eat, what's that? Out of up until the race, I think there was about 460, 470 views, and I looked this morning and it's just over 500. So that's remarkable for me, a nobody, and I enjoyed making it, and I have a 1 thumbs up and 2 thumbs down for over 500 views, but then one muppet thought that they might get on there and try and fat shame me. Yeah, righto, whatever. I just deleted it, as I did those comments that were on my Instagram page that somebody thought that they, used to promote their, their animal liberationist views. That's not what I'm about, and it takes another level of dedication and commitment and knowledge and that, and that's not what I want to spend my time doing. So I appreciate what you're about, and your passions and your desires, but I don't have a position on it. I've cared for animals, many of my own, different varieties, from bloody birds to fish to rats to cats to dogs. Even had a horse once, and I've cared for other people's animals while they've been on holidays, and loved and purchased a dog from a bloody animal shelter, a rescue dog or something. So my qualities as a human aren't in question, but some people think that they are. So, state of origin. Mate, I'm telling you now, Queensland debuting 8 new players. I looked down both the lists, and I've made a podcast about this. I'm just going to post them out there, and whatever, people can either enjoy it or they can just go, because it doesn't know what he's talking about, can't even pronounce some of their names. But yeah, I admit that. I even mention it with all respect. But you look down both the lists, and I'm ticking a box. Queensland, New South Wales. And I've ticked more boxes in the New South Wales side, when we're talking about, coming up like the halves pairings, that's going to be a good battle. So all 4 of those got the ticks, the 6 and the 7 from both sides. The 9, Jake Friend and Cookie. I'm leaning towards Cookie. Jake Friendle, very experienced, and I think he's debuting it. I think they mentioned something like, why do they count days? 30,000 something days. Old. I think the oldest was 35,000 something days, and Artie beats it. So they put up these little comparisons this morning of like Papali and Paulo, and they're very close. That's going to be a really good competition, although Paulo shits all over Papali for offloads, but they're close on all the other stats that they cared to compare. Who else? Cherry Evans and Cleary. Cherry Evans' stats were superior to Cleary's, but like a guy I worked with a few years ago said that the stats don't always tell the story, and like the scoreboard doesn't always reflect the effort either. So they have their place, but there's a prime example of the stats between Cleary and Daly Cherry Evans. Daly Cherry Evans, and for most of the points, like the offloads and try assists and line breaks and all that stuff, he's superior. But where'd they finish? So yeah, there you go. What's another one? So yeah, I'm kind of like, torn between the Munster and Daly Cherry Evans and Keary and Cleary, although I think Walker, that's my personal opinion, I think Walker should be starting there. So what you want, check out the podcast. I've got other things to say about it, my thoughts on that. Alright, let's move down to Trbojevic, and his opposing number in the 13 for Queensland, which I can't remember off the top of my head just right now. Oh, blank there. Trbojevic, he's a worker. He gets a job done. I don't think he's as dynamic as as Murray, and then you've got Crichton. I would have started with Murray. Murray's just more dynamic in a lot of areas of his game, and that, being a South Sydney supporter, I probably know him better than most other players that would be eligible to be in that position. So anyway, I'll be going with him. I hope this thing doesn't record upside down. I checked it out. I got on and I've the other day, and then I did a couple of trials with the front camera and the back camera, and using the different apps, and to see if it was going to how's that hat going? How's the bucket hat going? Go the Blues. I bought that on the NRL site, and it was on special. I got it for like a little bit cheaper, I think. Yeah, there you go. Because none of the t-shirts will fit me. Anyway, so yeah, I'm ticking the boxes down the New South Wales side again. There, the front rowers, right? The other front rower, Safidi. I just, I don't know. Fittler's chosen who he's chosen. Dropping, what's his name, Buffhead from Newcastle, who actually would have put a good word in for Safidi to get him a foot in, to be honest. I mean, he's somebody that Fittler and the coach and staff would have been considering, but his stats don't do it for me. His partner in the front row, he came from Canterbury, I can't even think of his name, how bad's that? I would have chosen him over, and who's on the bench? What's that, Gillard, to give him a break. Who else we got on the bench there? Brown? Is he on the bench with Walker? Who's on the bench? I think about the reserve, so I haven't got a list in front of me. But anyway, I'll talk about it in the podcast, because I do have a list in front of me. So give it a listen. Recorded late last night though. So anyway, I'm just, you know what I'm talking about. And there's many people out there doing podcasts and YouTube, reviewing, all sorts of things. And they're probably doing a better job than me, but each to their own. So Tedesco, yeah, he ticks the box. Adokar, he ticks the box. Gagai, that's going to be a good contest between him and his opponent. But you know what? Who's your toughest opponent? You. Yourself. That's it. You don't want your opponent to get on over the top of you. So you need to be the best that you can be. I think I've read a lot of books. I've read Warhorse by Webke. I've read Lockyer's book. I've read Bennett's books. I've read a few books. Just the mindset. I think I might have mentioned in a podcast previously that there was a former player, a former Brisbane Bronco, a former South Sydney. I think he spent some time at the Gold Coast, and he got into trouble for an association with another former NRL personality, quite a good player. And I'll just name him, Ashley Harrison. So I remember reading the player profiles years ago on a South Sydney site, and the question was, who's your toughest opponent? And Ashley said himself. He was right. And he was a weapon. He was a machine. He wasn't anything dynamic, but he was just reliable, and he was just relentless and in defence, and just carting the ball up. So, and I'm not judging him for, his his poor judgment or things that he's done that have, that are questionable. But yeah, the guy, that's still stands true, that really just, hits home that you're your own toughest opponent. That's it. It's getting over those, those fears in your head, that doubt, those questions. So if New South Wales don't turn up tonight with the attitude that they need, Queensland will make an example. I think personally New South Wales are 2 to 3 tries better in attack. I don't know what the score's going to be, but that's my view. So what other players do I need to mention or review? People are going, why is it Lomax in the run on side? As they have mentioned, what's that going over? A little a toy helicopter. Expensive toy. Talking about those, like from both sides, like Cherry Evans saying how Bennett's involved in every aspect of the camp, of the campaign, of the training, from getting on the weights in the gym to playing cards with the boys, and then Cody and those lads that are involved with the New South Wales side, talking about how Wayne knows how to speak, to the individual individually. He's not saying the same thing to everybody. They said they gave away some of his secrets, but not too many. There'd be a bit of respect there. But that's interesting hearing some of the, those reports, some of those that have been shared from, the Queensland camp and the New South Wales camp in relation to Wayne and where he's at, how he goes about business. So Wayne knows their games and he'll be looking to tighten up areas and, be excellent in, dealing with these charges from South Sydney, like Cookie and Walker, if Walker gets his opportunity. And, he knows the game of many of the other players, in that Queensland squad, that New South Wales squad. So that'll be interesting. Fittler. I can't say I've heard a lot of reports or a lot that has been said that's come, from him or his people. So, tonight is just exciting. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be interesting. So, I can't wait, although I'm working. So, I'm going to miss parts of the game. We've got to work till 7:30. I've got to leave at 7, get the client home by 7:30, then make my way back. So by about 8 o'clock I could be back where I need to be. Excuse me, I'm using the gimbal, but I haven't got it on, focused on me. I've updated the apps and a couple of things have improved, but I've lost the ability to, deal with other things. So, somebody out there surfing today, I'll give you a look in a minute. It's beautiful out there today. It should be a cracker. We need to hit the ground running, simple as that. And we need to exercise that, intrinsic desire, motivation for longer periods than the opposition. Doing all the little things, the micro and macro goals, well. Otherwise, Queensland will make us pay for it. They've got experience in their spine there. Maybe not so much at fullback, but Jake Friend and Daly Cherry Evans and Munster. There's a lethal 3 there. So it's going to be on. Kiri's going to be maybe under a little bit of pressure, with Walker there and all of the talk about, his concussions and his form in the back end of the toward the pointy end of the season, I don't think it was that bad, to be honest. So I'm not going to talk at length about that. I think I do mention it in those other 2 podcasts that I'm going to put out there. Look for them. I will put them on why, 100 reasons why rugby league is the best game. I'll throw them out on there. So you'll need to give those a listen, because I'm not going to talk at length about that here. What else? Who else? Secret weapon, like for New South Wales. Well, I think if the forwards can get their job done, that Cookie can. We can be dangerous. We've got three kickers really. There, Cookie, little strategic kicking in behind the line, in good ball in the 10, in the 20, attacking the opposition's line, and with Queensland, I guess there's 2 noted, Daly Cherry and Munster. I don't know anybody else in there that has a kicking game. That'll be a big deal, but the forwards are going to need to do their job. So I hope Safidi does step up. And continue to develop in that arena. I'm not against him. That's just my opinion. What I think. And I still can't think of the name of the bald-headed front rower that the Knights paid a mozza for, who didn't have a bad season, according to the stats. It was a bit of a shock omission from the New South Wales side, but everyone's moved on, including me. I'm just giving you my opinion on individuals, that are there. Safidi he'll be up for it, and he won't want to embarrass himself. So, good luck to the bloke, really. So here we go. Check this out. Have a look around. It's beautiful out here today. There's not as much wind, but what can you see out there? How beautiful is that? Cracker. There's a few lines out there. Is this bloke going to get on? It's closing out anyway. There's a few lines there. I think he should be there. Might be more in the middle. What do you reckon? Over there. They're just big lines closing out, aren't they? There's a couple of people over there. It's not real busy this morning. What is it? 8:37. I've got plenty of time too. But yeah, it's a long day today, so yeah, I'll finish at 3 and then I'll make my way, about 45 minutes north from here, and go and collect another client by 4:30, and then I'll finish at 7:30, and yeah, it's good. Whoop. Here we go, sorry about that. Here we go. Oi, what's going on? Come back. Bring it back. Centre it. There we go. Yeah, so State of Origin. Alright. And that's it, I think. After that, everything's kind of done, isn't it? I mean, yeah, there's 2 more games, obviously. But, and then, there's just talk about player movements. Jimmy the Jet, love you, Jimmy. Really, I just was kind of hoping that he was going to recover from his most recent pec injury and, some of the other issues that he's been dealing with ongoing, his mental health, and just, come back and bounce back for us. But that doesn't seem to be the case. But, yeah, I just was excited when he was coming, and wished him all the best, as did many others. And then you're always going to have those little 1%, little white ant people, in the background there, just, I think I referred to them as a little insignificant pilot light. I mean, and a pilot light can be quite dangerous in the right environment, okay, like a white ant, but if you starve them of the attention, you starve that pilot light of gas, you starve that white ant of an opportunity to, to chow down on some timber, then they do remain insignificant. That's the key. So, and then Corey Allen, obviously, shown that he is the real deal, potentially, capable of anything. But, South Sydney are looking, at Latrell and extending his deal. Are they in the market for Adokar? There's people on there claiming that they got inside information and that he's definitely coming, and then you've got the media talking about him going to the Tigers and Adokar denying that and saying that he'd be happy to stay at Melbourne for another year if he has to, and then you've got the Bulldogs, claiming, or maybe not them directly, but other, media sources, reporting that he's, that close to signing a deal with the Bulldogs. So who knows? I just, when it happens, it happens. Unless somebody I know that knows him directly, not somebody that knows someone, or somebody that heard that, somebody that knows someone. I just don't get involved, So it'd be great to have him at South Sydney. But then, when you've got all those superstars on the big money, you got to balance that stuff, and then there's talk about, Wayne pushing to get his 8th title before he leaves, at the end of 2021. And I don't think it's about Wayne, though. It is about the club. And obviously the club would like to get another premiership. Who wouldn't? That's your goal every year, when you're selecting your roster and development and all that stuff. But I don't think it's about any one individual at the club. Obviously Wayne would love to get one while he's there. And it would be deserving too, I think, because he's had a couple of good seasons there. He's done some great work. And obviously, I'm a fan, I've made that clear on many occasions. There's a couple of nice waves. So, yeah, I just don't think it's about, I read something the other day, Wayne will get his man, and, other, ways that Wayne's approached it, behind the scenes and with the media in the past. Everything indicates that, that Adokar will be joining us. But again, you've got to maintain that roster. And once you've got it in place, you've got, between 1 and 3 seasons to make it happen with the core group. When you're having success, as a group and or as an individual, they're getting the attention of other clubs with more money to spend, and they don't all aren't all loyal. Business is business, money's money, and people calling, trying to say, Corey's a better fullback than Latrell, and this is coming from South supporters. This is like stuff that I'm reading on the fan pages. People just get rid of this one and take that one and this one, and a lot of it is interesting, and it is, and I respect that, but a lot of it is just not a lot of thought has gone into the greater picture. I don't profess to know all the ins and outs of the workings of, what goes on at that level either. But I know enough. And there's way more involved. And Wayne explained it quite well at their end of the year presentation last year when he got up and did his speech. And I've mentioned it before, all the things that you can control and the things that you factor into your season, and that could happen, there's a little bit of luck involved. But, for the most part, there's a whole heap of things going on that everything needs to, coordinate or sync, and harmoniously, a balance for you to be able to get to where you want to be, the end of the year, finishing in the top 4, winning your prelim. So, yeah, exciting times, but ahead for South Sydney. There's, good. And the Sawali kid. People wanting to punish him. Really. I've had my views about that in a podcast or two. And that Duncan kid that we poached from the Roosters. Seen some footage on that. He goes all right. That'll be interesting to see how he develops, and how long those shoulders last. Oh, he's a bit of a monster. Okay, well, I think this will do, mate. This is quite a long one, and half an hour. It'll take a bit to load this up. It'll suck a bit of the life out of the battery and the data, but that's okay. I tried to donate, because you can donate on Optus at the end of your thing, but with only one day out, and my wife donated, and you couldn't donate for another 12 hours, and our data was rolling over at that time, so I couldn't donate my 10 gigabytes. She managed to, though, at least one of us did, but I need to remind myself a day or 2 days before that month rolls out, and because we had like 70 or 80 gigabytes left, so she managed to donate 10, and it goes to people that need it. It's a great idea, I think, so I'll have to try and remember that for next time. Alright, trendsetters, here, have one last look, and there's not really anybody around here today. One last look at the beautiful Go the Blues. There's not really anyone around here today to have a yak tea. What is it? Almost 10-2. Have a look one more time. Trendsetters. Social influencers. It's a beautiful day. Let it slip away. Hey. Very good.